This setup is entirely different from what most people do. This setup is completely self-contained. You don't need anything else besides the 3 pieces that you see here, the inverter, this box, and a battery, as it has its own AC out built in. This also has a AC charging inlet. It also has DC in along with DC out, and then it already has solar cables, so all you have to do is hook this up to some solar panels, and this whole unit is self-contained. So this allows you to use this in a lot of different locations. Maybe you have a construction trailer, or maybe you have a yard work trailer and you want to recharge a bunch of the batteries that you have inside. You can use this for basically a small cabin, or maybe a Connect box. You could even use this as an EV charging station. So if you're looking for an all-in-one system that doesn't need any permits, then go ahead and stick around for a couple minutes. I'll run you through how I set this up. Okay, now first off, you can utilize a different inverter. It doesn't have to be the 6000 XP. This would actually fit really well with doing 2 batteries and a 12,000 XP with this box just right on top of it, which I can still expand on either side as I still have enough room if I wanted to use a conduit box that matches up with this, and then using a pipe to the next battery depending which way I want to go, or however it is you want to do it. So what I have on the side here is a 50 amp outlet. This will allow me to run the max amount of power that I could get out of this 6000 XP, but it is at least wired if I wanted to put, say, a 12,000 watt inverter up there. And I can always get splitters, as there is a ton of splitters where you can take a 50 amp cord, put this in. That way, if you're looking for some other options like 120 volt out, as there's a ton of different ones that you can get, that way you can get 120 volt options as well out of this 50 amp plug. So now what we have on the other side of this box, this is basically just an inlet for AC charging utilizing a generator, so I can put this up all the way to 50 amps if need be, or whatever is able to be handled by the actual inverter, which is about 7,300 watts for this one, which I can just then take my charging cable, put it in here like so, and then I can do 240 volt charging with this. Or by utilizing the DC, I can actually charge with a ChargeVerter if I want. And so I have a ChargeVerter here that I have this Anderson connector plug. I can also charge up power stations and more, so it just makes it a little bit more flexible by having an Anderson connector on there, which gives me more flexibility while using the ChargeVerter. So now with it plugged into the ChargeVerter, this allows me to just use this connection piece so I can directly charge the battery without having to go through the inverter. Now of course I already have solar right here, and I have 2 pigtails out. That way I can put 2 different arrays on here if I need to, because this allows for 2 arrays. So I can have one east and west, north and south, but at least you have the options of having 2 pigtails, that way you're ready to go for 2 solar inputs. Now by also having this DC out, I also have it into this Anderson connector where I have these MC4 cables. Now being able to go DC to DC, this allows for more efficient charging if, say, you want to charge up power stations, such as this Pecron unit, which I'm getting 1,000 watts into this one. Or like this EcoFlow Delta 3 Plus. This one allows for up to 15 amps and up to 60 volts, which the battery alone is definitely below that depending on state of charge. So it actually works really well if you wanted to charge a small power station for portability, and you don't lose the AC to DC conversion. But whenever you are charging power stations like this, just make sure that you don't go over the input voltage on the back, because you don't want to charge something that only has a 30 or maybe 45 volt inlet voltage, because you will burn up the controller. So make sure you note that, as if you take a look at this example right here, this one says 12 volts to 30 volts, so I wouldn't want to plug it into this input, versus this solar input allows 32 to 150 volts, so it's actually perfectly fine to do that. Now another cool benefit to this thing again is that you can use this setup right here with several different inverters, and this inverter, I can actually pop that inverter off in a matter of minutes and swap out a different inverter if I want. So if I wanted to put a 12,000 XP on there, I could, or if I wanted to add different brands, I could do that as well. Now you'll have to excuse my wiring. I'm still in the process of cleaning things up and also kind of figuring out other things I might want to do, because this is kind of a fluid setup, so I do change things periodically. Now when it comes to the 50 amp outlet, this is something you can easily buy at the store, or you can order it online. I'll leave some links down below of basically everything I found that I used. That way if you don't want to go out shopping, you can check that down below. It definitely helps support the channel and I appreciate it. But all this is an outdoor outlet. Basically, you can find this anywhere. I bought this one, I think, at Home Depot. You can buy it on Amazon. It is just one of the Levington ones. Although the plastic lock on the bottom sometimes does get in the way, so this I might actually cut off depending on the type of cord you use. Now when it does come to drilling that hole, you will have to get a hole saw, and there are hole saw sets that you can use easily. I didn't use the pre-knockouts anywhere in this. I ended up drilling all of my own holes and everything. And when you do drill your own holes using a hole saw, you have to do light pressure, or you could push one of the knockouts actually in, kind of messing it up. So let the drill do all the work, not a lot of pressure. That's all there is to the 50 amp outlet. Now when it does come to this 50 amp inlet, this is something you'll have to decide if you want to do this style. There's different ways you can do this. This is just one way that I thought of. And I did drill holes that way. Basically these could be locked down, so you may have to get some different types of hardware. That will be up to you, but that is how I did that part. Now you can buy this piece separately, and again I'll have this link down below. But what I did, now I ended up having this box just kind of sitting around, so I just disassembled it, used the piece there. And then now this piece here is basically garbage, or I don't know what I'll do with it, but it's just sitting around. So that made this installation part real easy. I just had to do, again, a hole saw, and then I just utilized some screws that I had in the shop and basically just drilled some holes to match everything up. It's super easy. This is just something you'll have to decide if it's going to be the way that you want to do it. I wanted to make this kind of a universal setup, that way as I change inverters and such and play with other different pieces of equipment. Now, one thing that was nice is adding this DC stuff on the outside. This kind of really helped as far as charging and also discharging depending on what I wanted to do. Now I will show you the finished product real quick, and then I'll explain to you kind of how I did this. But I just have it shrink wrapped basically, and then I did do a little bit of electrical tape because the shrink wrap I have started to rip because it wasn't quite big enough, so you might need something a little bit bigger. But let me run you through how I did this part. Now the Power Pro battery terminals, I picked these up at Signature Solar. You will have to pick up some battery terminals, which I use these off a battery, and then of course some cable end lugs. This is what the finished product will look like after it is put together with some shrink wrap or electrical tape. I did have to use a hydraulic press on the 2-aught cable, but I did have to use a 3-aught battery end because a lot of times the battery cables from China are not always kind of to American standards. This is not the first time that I've ran into problems from a local supply house trying to meet up with Chinese type cables, but the 3-aught does fit onto the 2-aught. And then when it comes to the terminal ends, these have little plastic tabs, which I ended up cutting the tabs off so it would fit flush, and then also using a tap for the hardware supplied, which I'll leave some information down below on the size that I used. Now this quick connect is meant for 2-aught cable, and the ChargeVerter cable is a 4-gauge wire, so I stripped double the length and folded it back to help fit that. I also kept the 2-aught gauge cable sheath and slid this down to help fill the gap when tightening up the sleeve on this grommet. So when this is tightened down, it'll give it a little bit of extra support since the cable is a little bit smaller for this battery terminal end. And then this is what the finished product will look like, which is just a smaller version of the original. Now when it comes to running the solar cables, this allows me again having 2 solar arrays, so I have 2 pigtails there, and you can make this as long or as short as you want using whatever type of PV wire, but this is usually the better stuff that you'll see out in the field, and this is the stuff I kind of recommend if you're going to be running higher voltages. This stuff you get on Amazon is fine, but really if you're going to be doing low voltage stuff. And then of course that'll just plug into your PV1, PV2, that way you can have the option of running 2 different arrays depending on what you want to do. Now for my particular setup, I'm not using anything on the AC grid, I just have my generator inlet only along with my AC out. And of course this generator is set up for a 2-wire start, so if you also want to do generator inlet as well, you can also check out the links or check out this video of this new 2-wire start generator, which there are going to be others coming out. And if you want, you can also hook up the ChargeVerter to the 2-wire start generator. This allows you to either have this started up automatically, or you can have the inverter started up depending on how you want to do it. And now again, this is something that is nice if you are looking for an all-in-one system like this. Now again, you can set this up with any inverter that you want. It doesn't have to be this one. There are several others that you could use. It's really just this box and the battery that kind of makes it an all-in-one system to the inverter of your choice. So if you want the 12,000 XP or something else, or maybe you want to do a 10,000 watt from GrowWatt, that's also another option. So I hope this video helped you out. Again, I'll leave links down below of everything that I used, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in another one.